So in our last lesson, we talked about the environment, and the lesson was about a crowded planet. So some of you, of course, agreed, some of you disagreed about some of the problems that the planet is facing. So here we had three verbs: protect, produce, and cause. And we used these three verbs to talk about some of the Earth's problems. And some of the things we can do to help. For example, we can protect the environment, we can protect rainforests, we can protect wildlife, and overall we can protect the Earth. And at the same time, these are important things for us, like producing.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. Hi,
Hello,
Suhail.
doctor. How are you?
How are you today?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, good, good. So this is a quick revision of our last lesson. We can use produce to talk about food. So you can say produce food, produce oil and gas, produce green energy. What else? I think these are the only ones we produce. You can use cause to talk about pollution, cause global warming, cause floods, cause climate change. So all of these things you can use the verb cause to talk about them. And finally, we used the world population is increasing, and so is the cost of living. And we talked about some of these issues. We discussed some of these problems in our own country. I think most of us agreed that the cost of living is actually increasing. There is more pollution. This is one of the problems we're facing. Maybe we don't have as much floods as in the past, because I don't think there's much difference. But I think our country also suffers from a big problem of not being able to produce its own food. So we talked about that. And finally, we got to the expert, Andrew Scott, talking about some of the problems facing the Earth in 10 years or 9 years now. So we talked about those, and we talked about will for prediction and also might. So you can use will and you can use might to predict the future or talk about the future. Of course, will is a little stronger. So if you're more confident or if you're sure of your prediction, it's better to use will. Might is okay too, but might means you're not as sure of your prediction. You're not really confident in your prediction. If you're not, you can use might. So this is the idea. And we talked a little bit about how to use will. We agreed that will is used for predicting the future. It's not used for personal plans, because for personal plans, we usually use going to, or the other one, present continuous. So you can say, I'm meeting Ahmed later, or I'm going to travel next month. This is more suitable to talk to you if you want to talk about the future, about your own personal plans. Going to and present continuous is a lot better. You can use will. There are some situations where you use will, but in most occasions, will, it sounds like a decision you made at the moment of speaking. So if someone calls you, if you get an unexpected call and maybe you couldn't answer it, so you can say, I'll call him later. So this wasn't planned. You didn't plan for the person to call you, and you didn't plan to call him later. It just happened now. And you made a quick decision for the future. Here you can use will, but otherwise it's a lot better to use be going to. So I'm going to travel next month, or if it's some kind of meeting or arrangement, you can even use the present continuous for future. So you can say, I'm meeting Ahmed later. I'm having lunch with Michael tomorrow. So you can, I'm seeing my doctor in the afternoon. These are more suitable for personal plans. Of course, if you want to use will, you have to use an infinitive after will. We agreed that the negative form of will is won't, and we agreed that the pronunciation should be won't, like don't. So you have to be careful whenever you want to use won't. Try not to make it sound like want or went. You have to try to make it sound like don't, won't, don't. So this is an important tip to keep in mind. And And the last point I think we covered was will, possibly. It's just another way of saying might. We did the last two questions here, and we got to number 5 actually. This is where we got to in our last lesson. So let me explain the question for you here, and let's work a little bit together to find good answers. So it says here, look at these other ideas about the year 2030. Write sentences you think are true. Use will, won't, or might. So of course the idea here is these are open questions and there isn't one answer. So these questions reflect our opinion or our expectations and predictions. So for example, number 1 here, I don't think water will be more expensive than oil. This is what one person thinks, okay? So this person thinks that water won't become more expensive than oil. But another person is saying here, water might be more expensive than oil. So you can say might be, might become. You can also use this. If you're sure of your prediction, you can say, I think water won't be more expensive than oil. My point is you can do it any way you want. It depends on what you really believe. This is the point here. So number 2 here, most people, and then we have, hi, hello, Selma.
How are you?
Hi, I'm fine, thanks. How about you?
Fine.
Okay, good. So here we're just using will, won't, and might to talk about these ideas. All of these ideas are about 2030, so we're discussing the future. So you can call these ideas predictions for 2030. All you need to do to talk about them is just use will, won't, or might. If you think these predictions are likely to happen, use will. If you think they're unlikely to happen, you can use won't. Or you can say, I don't think blah, blah, will, blah, blah. So you can, there's another way of doing it. So I'm just going to make it a little easier for you here. Okay, so I'm going to give you the 4 ways you can answer this, okay? So here we go. So you can say, I think, for example, blah, blah, will, and then infinitive, okay? The verb, of course. This is one way. This is if you agree. If you don't agree, you can say, I don't think blah, blah, whatever it is, the point, will, and then you use your infinitive verb. You can also say, for example, you can say, there's another way. You don't have to say, I think. You can just say, blah, blah, whatever it is, will, and then use your infinitive. Like the example, water will be more expensive, or water won't be more expensive. So I think is optional, by the way. It's up to you. If you want to use it, it's up to you. You can also use won't. So you can say blah, blah, whatever, won't, and then you use your infinitive verb. If you want to use might, that's fine. And you can use it with I think something might, again, infinitive, same grammar. Or you can just say blah, blah, might, infinitive. Do you get the idea? So these are the few different ways you can use to talk about these ideas. So who would like to start with number 2, the one about people living in cities? Who would like to give this a try? Samiha, would you like to? Okay, Nehru's. All right, so let's hear Nehru's opinion on number 2. What do you think, Nehru's?
I think most people will live in cities.
Okay. Do you think they will leave cities or they will live in cities?
will live in cities.
Okay. So you think
Live
most
too.
people will live in cities?
Yes.
Interesting. All right. What do you think, Samiha? Do you agree there? Do you think most people will
Yes.
live? You also think they'll live in cities?
Yes.
Does anybody have maybe a different opinion about people living in cities? Or do you think maybe the other way around? Maybe you could say most people won't live in cities. Who agrees with this opinion? Who thinks this is true?
Me, I think.
I agree with you.
Okay, so Rashid, Suhaib, you also think most people won't live in cities?
Yes.
Suhaib? But why? Why do you think most people won't live in cities in the future, in another 9 years?
Because people want to live in the village.
People want to live in villages.
Yes.
Do you think all people, or do you think maybe some people do?
Little people.
Yeah, a few people, not all of them, maybe. Okay.
And all the
Yes.
facilities may be available in cities.
Yeah, that's the reason why historically people, I mean, in the last 100 years,
Come.
yeah, why most people left the towns and villages and everybody came to the city. It's because of this. The factories, the facilities, the infrastructure, the civil service, courts, banks, all of that. So it's a maybe interesting opinion. What about number 3? Who has any ideas or opinions about number 3? About green energy. What do you think? Let's see. Samiha, what do you think here about green energy?
All our homes. I don't think most or all our homes would use a green energy.
What about green tea? Do you think we'll drink green tea?
Because I drink now. I drink a green tea.
Okay. Okay. So you don't think most our homes will be powered
Yeah.
by green energy? You think they won't use green energy?
Yes.
Okay. Who
Just 10 years.
Yeah, it's because it's a short period, right? It's only 10 years
period
ago.
to change the ideas of our people.
But are you talking about here Libyan homes, or are you talking about homes around the world? What are you talking about?
Our Libya.
Libya. Okay.
Yes.
I see. I get your point. Any other opinions? Who has a different opinion about green energy and homes? Who thinks maybe would use more green energy?
I hope that, yes, in Libya.
I hope so too. But I kind of agree with Samiha. I think it's a short period, and Libya is an oil country. It's an oil producing country, so this is a little difficult. There isn't anything to encourage people to use green energy here because electricity is still free anyway. So I don't know. So maybe her prediction is
Also,
right.
it's expensive.
Yeah, exactly, because you need the equipment. You need to buy solar panels, batteries to charge. You need to buy some things. It's not cheap. You're right, Rashid. And like I said, because we already have free electricity, why do you need to use something else? So maybe in other countries, Denmark, Germany, these countries, China, maybe they'll use more in the future. Their homes might use more green energy. Who knows? Okay, number 4. Let's see. What do you think here, Selma, about number 4?
I think most people in the world won't speak Chinese because Chinese language not very important in the world.
Okay. So you think most people in the world won't speak Chinese?
Yeah.
But now actually, I think China is the
Second important language, I think, after English.
I'm not sure about the language, but I know about the economy. It's the second strongest economy in the world, right? It's
And the the speakers. I think it's
Also, the number, you're right. If we want to talk about the number of speakers, it has a very large number of speakers. So,
Yeah.
so maybe if the Chinese population increases a lot, so this means this will become true, right? Most people in the world will speak Chinese if the Chinese population increases. But also, I think Selma has a point. Chinese may be around the world, outside of China, it's not as important as maybe English or, I don't know, maybe French or Spanish. It's very important in China, of course, or if you want to work in China, but maybe outside, not so important. Okay, number 5, let's see. What do you think here about number 5, Rashid? What's your opinion?
I think children will have all their lesson online.
Yeah, this is an interesting prediction, right? Because this is kind of true today.
yes.
Many children have their lessons online
Yeah.
today because of the corona and because their schools are closed. So do you think this will continue? Do you think it will increase maybe in the future?
Yes, I think
Yes.
Yeah, so maybe this one is
maybe
true.
in the future. I think there's a school online.
Yeah, everything is online. The school is online, you know. You don't have to go to school anymore. I think that will be, what's your opinion? Do you think that will be good? What do you think? Or do you think it's better for children to go to school?
Yes.
Maybe better to go to school because to more contact with the community.
True, there's more contact and they can meet their friends
Yes,
and they can, you know, socialize with the children.
making relationships.
True, children who are their same age.
Yeah,
Yeah, so it's a difficult question, I think. For me, of course, I would love if all lessons are online. This is good for me and my business. So
maybe
that's,
courses, maybe work, maybe something, but
yeah, but children, no.
studies, no. Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think children maybe, because I've tried online with children, it's not very successful, to be honest, because children easily, you know, get distracted and it's hard for them to pay
Yes.
attention.
like
But
isolation. That's not.
yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's a little hard for them. So maybe going to school is better. Okay, what about number 6 here? Let's see someone else's opinion. What do you think here, Suhaib, about this point? The one about people having computers in their head. What do you think?
I don't understand this.
Here, when we have computers, we don't mean like a laptop, but we mean like electronic chips. Do you understand?
No, this is impossible.
Sorry? It's impossible?
No. Yes.
Actually, for some treatments, this has already happened. There's now a chip, you know, it's like an electronic chip. Do you know what an electronic chip is? Sorry.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so it's like the chips inside your phone or computer. So there's a new treatment for a disease.
Like pacemaker.
Like a pacemaker, but for Parkinson's. It's still experimental treatment, but you know, it's kind of working.
Study, maybe.
It's under study, but it has, you know, they have shown some videos.
That's mean maybe in the future it's become true.
It might become
This
true.
idea, maybe
Yeah, because it's like a pacemaker, but for your brain, especially with the, you know, in the basal ganglia area. So with people who have Parkinson's, it reduces the tremors. So these things are experimental, like I said, but who knows? There are many people who are researching these topics you know, bioengineering, this kind of topic. So who knows, maybe. But Suhaib
Well,
thinks won't. You think it won't?
But what the point of this?
This is for some diseases and some treatment. For some diseases, maybe these computers can help. You know, people who have, I don't know, problems with their nerves, neurological problems, memory problems, brain damage, maybe. Things like this, it could help. Or maybe people who are paralyzed, maybe this can stimulate something in their brain. So this is the point. It's usually for medical or therapeutic purposes. Do you get the idea? So
Yes,
probably for treatment, I think. This is the point, maybe. But you think in 2030 people won't have computers inside their heads? Is that what you think, Suhaib? They won't?
Yes.
Okay. All right, now let's check the next point, air travel. Who would like to comment about the future of air travel in 9 years? Do you think, who thinks it will be too expensive for most people?
I think no.
Yes.
Okay, Rashid
No.
thinks no. Swipe thinks yes. Okay, let's hear both opinions.
No.
No. Who else said no? Okay, let's just a second. Give me a second. I forgot to send the link. Okay, for those who think air travel won't be too expensive for most people, can you tell me why? And for those who think it will be, tell me why, okay?
It won't be because
Okay.
maybe in the future the travel maybe will very easy, I think.
Okay, so this means it'll be easier and it'll be cheaper. Is that what you think?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. And for those who think, sorry, let's see Rashid's opinion. Why do you think no?
I think in 2030, the cars can fly.
Okay, so cars can fly. So this means maybe flights will be cheaper. Is that what you're saying? So this means traveling by
Yes.
air will be cheaper, right? Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and for those who think traveling or air travel will be too expensive, like Suhaib, why do you think it will be too expensive? In your opinion, Suhaib? What about the price of?
Because the plane will be more.
Planes will be more.
Especially here in
Will be
Libya,
more.
the tickets will be expensive now.
I think they're already a little expensive, a little more
Yes.
expensive than they were, I think. So so maybe this will continue to happen, right?
Yeah, but in the other world, no. Of course, because there is many ways to travel.
So you're saying this is only because it's only because we have a problem with our currency and because of exchange rate.
Yes.
Is
Because
that
the
what
plane will be better than
planes?
now.
Okay. So you think because planes will. Walaikum salam. Hello, Hana. Hi.
Hi.
Okay. So Suhaib, because planes will be better, you think they'll be more expensive? Is that what you think?
Yes.
All right. I see your point. Yeah, maybe. But usually when things become better, they become cheaper, right? Or do you think they become more expensive?
Yes, more expensive because inside the plane there's more
You mean more facilities, more equipment, more...
Yes, yes.
All right, I kind of get your point. Okay, what about the last point here, about 3D TVs? In 9 years, do you think people will have?
Will have.
Yeah, you think they will? You think people will have? Most people will have?
Yes.
Who has a different opinion? Who thinks maybe people won't have? Any other opinions? No, so it means most of you believe this is true. This will happen in 9 years. That most people will have 3D TVs in their homes. Okay. All right, so this is just an example of some predictions and how you can talk about them. Now I want to take you to exercise number 7 here. All right, now number 7 here. Let's talk about will and won't. So here it says, listen to how we say these phrases, notice the difference. Okay, so the focus of this exercise is to see the difference between how we use the ill or the short form, the contraction of will, and how we use, an infinitive verb on its own. So I'm going to play both of them. And I want you to pay attention to the difference, because in the next exercise in part B, we're going to listen to one track, and you have to circle the right word. You have to decide, do they use will or without will? This is the point. So let's start with 7A first, and let me play the track for you so you can listen to it. Okay, let's take a look. CD2 track. Okay. Okay, so now just notice the difference, that's all. Listen to both of them and notice the difference.
Track 2. 1. I stay. I'll stay. 2. You have. You'll have. 3. We go. We'll go. 4. They have. They'll have. 5. I want. I won't.
Okay, so you can notice the difference, of course. It's not a very big difference, but there is a difference, of course. Now.
Number 2, there's a
Number 2.
different, not clear. In number 2.
Yeah, it's a small difference, right? You have, you'll have, you'll have. So you need to pay attention. You're right, yeah, the difference is not very big, but it's there, but it's not stressed. It's not very clear. So you need to pay attention, I think, to spot it. Now, in the second part here, in part B, we're going to listen to these 6 examples from number 1 to 6. And you have to decide, do they use I or do they use I'll? Do they say they or do they say they'll? We or will? I or I'll? We want to or we won't be? I want to or I won't? So you need to listen carefully. All right, so let's listen to these. I'm going to play them quickly the first time, and check your answers. And then after that, I can play it again to confirm, okay? So if you don't get it from the first time, don't worry, because we'll listen to it more than once. So let's go.
1.
I'll stay at home all day.
2.
They'll have their own families.
3.
We have 2 children.
4.
I'll speak English fluently.
5.
We won't be in England.
6.
I want to have children.
Okay, let me see your guesses first. So what about number 1? Which one did they say? Which one did they use?
They'll.
I'll.
They will.
They'll?
No.
The first or the second?
They'll.
They'll.
The first or the second? They'll or they?
They'll.
Second.
They'll.
Second.
Okay, so most of you agree. Okay, good. That's good. There's agreement. So you agree. Okay. Let's. Where is it? All right. What about number 3?
We have two children.
We, the first one, or we'll?
Yes.
First one.
First one.
We have.
First one, okay. What about number 1? What was it? What did you hear?
I'll.
Second one.
I'll, the second one?
Yeah.
Okay. And number 5?
We want
First.
The first?
The
Second.
first.
We want to be in England, or we won't be in England? Is it the first or second?
We want.
The second.
We want to
The
be.
first.
No, first.
First
Yes.
or second?
Second, yes.
Second?
Yes, I think second.
First.
Okay, okay, so there's disagreement. Who thinks it's the first and who thinks it's the second?
I
First.
think it's second.
I think that's the first.
First.
Second.
All right, so this means this one is still not decided yet. We have to listen again. What about the last one, number 6?
First, yes.
Second.
No. First.
Is it I want to have children,
To have.
or I won't have?
I want to
Want.
have.
Second.
First.
Okay,
Yeah.
so there's also, I think most of you agree except Rashid. Okay, let's listen one more time. I'm going to pause after each one so you can listen carefully. So
Okay.
let's check.
Track 3. 1.
I'll stay at home all day.
2.
They'll have their own families.
All right, so this is correct. They'll have their own families. Okay, nice.
3.
We have 2 children.
Okay, this is also correct. We have, that's also right.
4.
I'll speak English fluently.
This is also correct. I'll speak. Yeah, okay, number 5.
5.
We won't be in England.
First.
Second.
Second.
First.
Okay.
We won't be.
We
Now-
want.
We won't be in England.
Now let's see the difference.
You want.
First.
Now, okay,
Second,
if it's the first, this means we have 3 words, right? Want to be,
Yes, we want to be.
want to be,
But here
Because-
we won't be.
because you have to use to after want. So want to be. But if it's the second answer, it's only 2 words. Won't be. Do you get the idea?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so maybe it will help if you see how many words. Did he say 3 words, want to be, or did he say 2 words, won't be? Do you get the idea?
Yes.
So I'm going to repeat this one just one last time. So this way you can try to pay attention to the number of words. Let's see.
I'll speak English fluently.
Okay, the next one.
Track 3.
Oops.
1.
I'll stay at home all day.
2 children.
4.
I'll speak English fluently.
5.
We won't be in England.
How many words?
Yes, second. Second.
Yeah, because
Second.
only 2 words, right?
Yes.
We won't be.
Won't be.
Won't be in England. So it's the second.
Mm.
All right. Now let's see the last one. Let's see.
Track 3. 6.
I want to have children.
First one.
First.
I want to have
To have children.
Yeah,
First.
that's it. The first one.
First,
I want to have. Correct. Okay, so now you can see that there is a small difference, but there is a difference usually when you use will and when you don't use will. And also here you notice the major difference between want and won't. First of all, there's a difference in pronunciation, and also want, you have to use to after it. Want to go, want to stay, I want to eat, I want to study, right? But with won't, we use the infinitive directly.
Be.
Yeah, not only be, any infinitive. Won't be, won't study, won't like, won't go, any infinitive. Be is an infinitive, of course, okay?
Yeah.
All right, very nice. Now, let's move to exercise number 8. Let's take a look at number 8. So here in exercise number 8, we are going to listen to a few people, some people, talking about life in the year 2030. So this means these people are, of course, making predictions. So they're talking about the future. So what we want to do is we want to match conversations number 1 to 4 to the things they talk about. So we are going to hear 4 conversations, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want to match 1, 2, 3, 4 to A, B, C, D. So A, this conversation talks about work and studies. B talks about living abroad. C talks about his and her future family. And D, it discusses age and appearance. So let's listen and let's find out. Let's match.
One.
In 2030, well, I'll probably be married and I want to have children, but I only want girls. I don't like boys very much. They're stupid. My husband will go out to work and I'll stay at home all day and watch TV. And we'll have lots of horses.
2.
Well, we won't be in England, that's for sure. In 2030, we'll have a house somewhere hot like Spain or France. We have 2 children, you see, so we can't move now. But they'll have their own families by then, so we can live wherever we want.
3.
At the moment, I'm doing a degree in engineering. So in 2030, I'll probably be an engineer for a big company or something like that. Or I might be a teacher, but at a university, not a school. And maybe I'll speak English fluently by then.
4.
Okay.
Well, I'll be 67, so I'll be a bit fatter, perhaps, and I won't have much hair.
I think I'll be old and grey. I'll probably look like my mother.
You look like your mother now.
Hey! Oh, and I'll have a new husband.
Okay. So the first number 1, the first conversation, what was it about? What?
her future family.
Yeah. Yeah, she was talking about her future family. Okay. The second conversation, what was it about?
Living abroad.
Living abroad.
Living
Living
abroad.
abroad.
Yeah, that's right. Living abroad. The third conversation?
Work and studies.
Studies.
Work and studies.
Right, right. Okay, and the fourth one?
C.
Age and appearance.
C.
Age and appearance.
D.
D. Age
C.
and appearance.
Yeah, age and appearance. That's correct. But now I want to see, what do the people say exactly? The girl in the first conversation, she talked about a few things. What does she want in her future? What does she
Want to
predict?
be married.
She wants to be married, okay.
To be married.
Have 2 children.
She wants to have children.
She wants
She
to
doesn't
have
like
have
a boy.
boys.
Girls.
Have girls.
She wants to have girls. She doesn't like boys, okay.
Teach at university.
Is that the first conversation?
No.
No.
Yeah. Which conversation does the man want to teach in university?
A.
Live in England.
Yeah, the third
Work,
conversation,
study.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, he mentioned university. Okay, now let's talk about the second conversation. The man in the second conversation. What did he say? Can you remember? Where does
Maybe
he...
living at French
He
or
wants to
Spain.
living in Spain. Yes.
French or Spain.
Correct. Yeah, so he said France or Spain.
Or Spain.
And
yeah.
having family and.
But why can't he move now? Why not now?
No, it doesn't.
Because he miss her mom.
His mom.
His mom, yes.
But he said, is he young or is he married? The person in the second conversation, the one who wants to move. The one who wants. He's married.
Yes.
But why can't he move now? What's the reason?
Forget.
You forgot? Okay.
Yes, forgot.
All right, no problem. What about the student? What did he talk about?
Studying an engineering. And
Okay.
in 2030 maybe is
A teacher
a degree.
at university.
Working in a big company.
Or work in a big company. Yes. He also talked about his English language. What did he say?
Fluently.
Yes.
Became fluent.
He wants to speak English fluently.
So he'll speak English fluently by then?
And teaching at university, not a school.
That's correct,
Okay.
yeah. Okay, and the last conversation, the man and the woman, what did they talk about?
Became 67 years and big father.
But who will become 67, the man or the woman?
Man.
The man. Okay.
And the woman, she looks like her mother.
She will look like her mother?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Anything else they mentioned?
And she will to get married again.
She wants a new husband.
She planned to get married again.
Yes. Okay, let's listen one more time, one last time to confirm, to check your answers. Let's take a look. And let's listen again.
Track 4. 1.
In 2030, well, I'll probably be married and I want to have children, but I only want girls. I don't like boys very much. They're stupid. My husband will go out to work and I'll stay at home all day and watch TV. And we'll have lots of horses.
2.
Well, we won't be in England, that's for sure. In 2030, we'll have a house somewhere hot, like Spain or France. We have 2 children, you see, so we can't move now. But they'll have their own families by then, so we can live wherever we want.
3.
At the moment, I'm doing a degree in engineering. So in 2030, I'll probably be an engineer for a big company or something like that. Or I might be a teacher, but at a university, not a school. And maybe I'll speak English fluently by then.
4.
Well, I'll be 67, so I'll be a bit fatter, perhaps, and I won't have much hair.
I think I'll be old and grey. I'll probably look like my mother.
You look like your mother now.
Hey! Oh, and I'll have a new husband.
Okay, the second man who wants to live abroad, he mentioned why he can't move now. Why can't he move now? He gave the reason.
You have 2 children.
Yeah, that's it. Because he has children now, right? They're still young. Yeah, but in 2030, can he move in 2030?
Really?
Probably yes, because his children will be older, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, very good. So that's the idea. All right, now let's take a look at the next exercise. Here we have number 9, another listening exercise. Okay, so what we want to do is, I just want you to listen and practice. So we just want to practice using contractions of will. How to say I'll, will, he'll, how to use these contractions of subject plus will. So all I want you to do is listen and repeat, listen and practice, okay? So let's listen. I think, Sophia, you have some noise in your room. Okay, so let's listen.
I'll stay at home all day.
I will stay at home all day.
I'll stay at
I'll
home.
stay at home all day.
Good. But is it I will stay or is it I'll stay?
I'll
stay.
How many syllables? Is it 1 syllable or 2?
1 syllable.
Yes.
1.
Exactly, it's 1 syllable. But if you say I will, is it wrong? I will stay.
Yes.
No.
No, it's not wrong. It's correct. It's also correct. But for example, if you go to England, which one is more likely that you'll hear? Which one? Is it I will or I'll?
I'll.
Probably yes.
I'll.
Yeah, because they use contractions more.
Doctor,
Yes.
I want to ask if you said I will as an answer. Prefer to say I will more than I'll.
Actually, you have to. For example, if someone asks you, will you answer the phone? Yes, I will. So it's, if it's a yes/no question, then you have to use the full form in the answer. I will.
Okay.
So sometimes you have to. It's the same thing with I am, I do. For someone, if someone
And
asks
I have.
you, yeah. For example, have you got a car? Yes, I have.
Yes, I have.
So you have to use the long form in an answer. Do you like ice cream? Yes, I do. Are you a doctor? Yes, I am. So on. So you have to do it like that.
Okay.
All right. So let's continue.
We'll have lots of horses.
We have lost.
Is it we have lots of horses or we'll have lots of horses? Okay, let's repeat the number 2 again.
We'll have lots of horses.
We'll have
a lot.
We'll have of horses.
Is it we have a lot of horses or we'll have?
We'll
have.
Yes, there's actually will. We'll have.
We'll have. Yeah.
We'll have. Okay.
They'll have their own families.
They'll.
Correct.
They'll have.
That's right. So it's they'll have. They'll have their own families. That's correct. So they'll, is it short for what? What is it short for, they'll?
They will.
They will.
That's it, that's it. All right, let's continue.
What difference between?
Sorry? Sorry, what's your question?
What difference between them?
Between they and they will?
Yes.
Okay, so they will, this is in the future, it's a prediction. So for example, if you say they have a lot of horses, like this is in the present, it's now. Now they have a lot of horses. But if you say they'll have a lot of horses, this is a prediction, تنبؤ يعني في المستقبل. يعني حيكون عندهم، مش أكيد لكن تنبؤ يعني في الغالب حيكون عندهم lots of horses. Do you get the idea? So this is will.
Yes.
I'll probably be an engineer.
Probably. Yeah.
Is
I'll
it
probably be engineer.
okay? And anyone else can tell me what they heard?
Can you repeat it?
Yeah, let's repeat it. Let's repeat it one more time.
I'll probably be an engineer.
Probably.
I'll probably be an engineer.
Yes.
I'd probably be engineer.
Yeah, let's write it. I'll probably be. So this is it. Let's put it here. I'll probably be an engineer. So I'll probably. So this is what he said. I'll probably be an engineer. Okay, now let's check.
We won't be in England.
We won't be in England.
We won't be in England, or we want to be in England. Is it won't be or is it want to be?
Want to be.
Won't be.
Won't be?
Want to be.
Yes.
Or want to be? How many words? 2 or 3?
Two.
Won't be. Is that what you think?
Want to be.
Yes.
Okay, let's check it. Let's confirm this. Let's go back a little.
I won't have much hair.
Okay, you give it now.
We won't be in England.
What is it?
We won't.
We won't be in England.
We won't be.
Is it went like this?
Yes, went.
Went?
Yes.
Went with an E? We went be?
Want to be.
No.
We want to be. Yes.
Will not.
Will not. Yeah, okay. So won't. We won't.
Yeah.
Won't like don't. We won't be in England. Remember, the pronunciation of won't اللي هي النيجاتيف بتاع will not. صوتها زي don't. Won't, don't. نفس الصوت.
We won't.
Won't, don't.
It means 2 words.
Want to be.
Yeah, 2 words. Won't be. طبعا هذه مختلفة من we want to be. هو طبعا ما قالش غير من نوريكم الفرق يعني. We want to be in. want to be على فكرة تمشي للمستقبل لأن want يمكن استعمالها للمستقبل لشيء الشخص يعني يبي يديره في المستقبل أو يرغب بأنه يديره. So if you say we want to be in England, it means you're not in England now, right? So want رغم أنها هي في present simple يمشي حالها للfuture أحيانا حسب استعمال. Okay? لكن طبعا ما قالش we want to be in England, so let's remove it. Okay, let's check the next one. Okay, let's listen.
I won't have much hair.
Mhm. What
I
did he
won't.
say?
I won't have
I
much
won't
hair.
have much hair, maybe.
Right. So he said, I
won't.
won't have much hair. That's correct. Let's write it. I won't have. Okay, how do we write it? Who can tell me? What should I write?
W-O-N.
I want.
So I,
I want.
after I,
W-N-T.
Won't.
how do we write it?
W-O-N.
W-O-N.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then he said, have
Much hair.
much hair. So I won't have much hair. Okay, let's check our next point.
I might be a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
I might
I
be a
might be a
teacher.
teacher.
Correct. I
I
might
teach.
be a teacher. All right, let's write it. I might be a teacher. All right, let's check our next point.
I'll speak English fluently.
Mm-hmm.
I'll speak English
I will
fluently.
speak English.
I'll speak English fluently.
Fluently.
That's it. I'll speak English.
Fluently.
Speak English fluently. Okay. All right, so these are examples of how to talk about predictions for the future. This is the idea. All right. So now we're gonna continue with this topic. Here it says write 5 sentences with will, won't, or might about you or your family's life in 2030. So here we want to talk about the future. We want to talk about future predictions. Who would like to talk a little bit about their own life? Maybe is the situation in the country. I don't know. Anything you want to talk about. So you can cover some of these topics. You can talk about your job, your home. You can talk about your retirement, if you'll be married or if you'll be single, your appearance. Maybe you'll get fatter, you'll get thinner. I don't know. English, your English language. Do you have any predictions for your English language? Your free time, children, money. You can talk about anything you want, and you can use these predictions. If you're confident of your prediction, you can use will or won't. So you can say, for example, if you want to talk about your job, you can say, I'll be a successful engineer. I'll be. If you're not really sure, you can say, I might work in a company, or I might work abroad. So it means not in Libya, right? So choose anything you want, any point you want to talk about. Who would like to start first? Tell us about their predictions using will, won't, and might. And you can talk about anything, of course. And if you don't have anything to say about yourself, you can also talk about the situation in general. Najat, would you like to give this a try? Talk about any of these topics? Okay, Najat's not there. Let's
Can
see
I
another.
try this one?
Yeah, go ahead, Samiha, huh?
Into 2030, I'll speak English fluently. Maybe I'll have my own polyclinic. I might be a millionaire.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? And I'll
What about your free time? Do you think you'll have more free time, or do you think maybe you won't have any free time?
I'll have more free time. I think.
Good. Okay. And okay, that's a good prediction, I think, for 2030. What about your home? Do you think you'll have a new home, or do you think you'll live in a new home, or do you think you won't live in a new home? Or maybe you might live in a new home. What do you think?
I won't live in my home.
You won't live in your home. So this means you'll live in a new home, right?
Yes, new home and new country, I think.
Ah, nice. Okay. So these are good predictions for the next 9 years.
Inshallah.
Yeah. Okay. Let's hear anyone else's predictions for 2030. What do you think will happen in your life, in the country, in your job? And you can talk about any of these. You can cover any of these areas. Who'd like to tell us?
Can I participate?
Sure, go ahead. Yeah.
Man, I'm just joined this meeting.
Yeah.
Yes, and thank you for this meeting. Actually, I was actually go out, but I decided to join with you.
Welcome.
And I'm just confused because I'm just join. I said.
Okay, the idea here is you want to make predictions for the future.
Yes. I read it. Yes. Write 5 sentences with will, not, or might. Yes.
That's it.
So could I choose any of them, or I should to choose all of them? Job, home, appearance, English, free time.
No, you don't have to cover all of them, of course. You could choose from them, or if you have anything in particular you want to talk about, you can.
Yes. What about the time? Should we use 2030, or we can use any time?
Any time, but it needs to be a little far away in the future. Not in the near. It's not in the near future.
Yes, I got it. Yes. Okay. In the 2030, I will be might maybe have married, or I have children, or I have a home, of course. As you know now, maybe if you need to build the home, maybe it's need much time, so it will be ready in 2013, and maybe I might be, I don't know, I might be a doctor or a teacher in English.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
And about the money, I don't know. Sometimes I feel I can maybe get a lot of the money, and sometimes I feel myself stay at this situation. Appearance, I don't know about appearance. Sometimes I'm care about my appearance, and sometimes I think in the general appearance it's maybe still like now. I mean, maybe still different, or I mean, little different, like the shape, or like but in the general, actually, I how I can say it.
You can talk about your weight. You can say
yes,
I'll be.
Yes. I need to talk
fatter.
about my weight. Yes. I need to talk about my weight.
Do you think you'll lose weight, or do you think you'll gain weight?
No. I think actually I like يعني نقول يعني أنا حافظت أو أنا محافظ يعني.
Okay, so
sorry for this.
You can say I think my appearance won't change.
Maybe my appearance won't change. Yes. So I think that's okay, or
yeah, that's okay.
What else? Yeah.
I think you covered English, you covered free time. Did you cover free time? Tell us about your free time. Do you think
Actually, the free time,
you'll have
yes,
more
when
free time?
I don't know actually. But I care about my free time because it's like I like to, when I have free time or spare time, it's another meaning, or to free time. When I have a free time, I like to doing sport, reading a little bit, and I like to go fishing, something like it.
Okay.
So of course I care about my free time.
But do you think you'll have more of it, or do you think you will have less of it?
Of course, I will have less of it.
You'll have less of it in 9 years.
Yeah, yes, of course, because maybe in the future we'll have the children, we have maybe another thing something is more necessary than now. I mean.
Okay, so maybe because you'll be married and you'll have children, so you won't have as much free time as you have now.
As now, of course, and maybe I'm just like to when I have money just in myself, but in the future I have maybe a wife, children, and another thing like food, something like it.
Yeah, maybe you'll have more work.
So,
you'll have a business or something.
Yeah, so I think in the future the free time is like shrinkage or decrease.
Yeah. Okay.
Or reduce.
Yeah, this is a good example of talking about your future predictions. This is the point. So whenever you want to talk about the future, if you're talking about predictions, not plans, remember it's a bit different. A prediction is something you expect to happen.
Yes, of course.
It's not a plan.
Yes, of course. But you know, maybe getting married, something like our plan, and of course we can't see prediction our married. Like maybe I will go. It's like maybe prediction. I will when I get married, I will go or go abroad, like Italy, something like it. Visit. It's like a prediction. I mean, it's like.
But what's the difference between saying in 2030 I'll probably be married and between saying I'm going to get married next month? Is there a difference or is it the same?
Of course, it's the different because the next month it's like the plane, but in the 2030 it's like to be. It seems to be prediction.
Actually, yeah, but you can even make a plan in 2030. You can say in 2030 I'm going to sell my company, or in 2030 I'm going to. If you've planned it, then it's a plan, even if it's a little far away. But a prediction means it's not a personal plan. It's something that might happen. But you haven't done.
Yes, but let's talk serious about it. As you know, maybe it's the next month. It's maybe I get already everything, but 2030 it's like expectation, as you said. Maybe I will be getting married, and I don't know if I can build the house or it's a long time. I mean, yes. So it's my opinion.
Okay. All right, so this is an example of using will. In this lesson, we'll still talk about the future, but this time we're going to change a little bit to talk about plans. We're going to talk about hopes and ambitions. Now, I have a question for everyone here. What's the meaning of this word, hopes and ambitions? What do you think it means? Plans, hopes, and ambitions. What does this mean? At the top here, hopes.
So where does the word?
On the top right. Yeah, plans, hopes, and ambitions.
Oh, yes.
Let's see someone's opinion here. Okay, what do you think, Samiha here? What do you think we mean by plans, hopes, and ambitions? Do you think it's the same? Do you think there's any difference when we say a plan or a hope or an ambition, or do you think it's the same idea?
Can I try?
Yeah, go ahead. What do you think, Salma?
Plans like maybe something you want to do.
Okay.
Maybe at that month or that year. anything,
Mhm.
and hopes and like maybe something you like to do.
Okay, sounds kind of right. Okay, and the last one, ambitions.
I don't have an idea for that.
Okay, but I think the first part is kind of right. Yeah. Let's see another opinion. Samiha, maybe you can talk a little bit about ambitions. What do you think an ambition is? And do you think it's good to put it in the future, or can we talk about ambitions even in the present? What do you think?
Ambition, same, huh?
It's almost the same, actually, Hannah. Yes, it's very close to hope. But I think maybe an ambition, it's a bit like a goal. For example, Samiha, when she was talking about her predictions for 2030, she said, I'll have my own polyclinic. This sounds like an ambition because it sounds like a goal. Do you get the idea? So in Arabic, who can tell me what it means, ambition in Arabic? What does it mean when we say ambition?
طموح.
Correct. Yes, طموح. That's correct. فلهذا ambition تعتبر كأنها goal or هدف or so it's يعني إلى حد ما قريبة من hope يعني شيء تود تحقيقه في المستقبل. This is the idea. And the plan, you know, maybe it's just something you want to do. That's all, just like Selma said. So maybe tomorrow I want to fix my car. So I can say, I'm going to fix my car tomorrow. I'm going to visit the mechanic. Or I'm going to refuel my car. It needs some petrol, it needs some fuel. So I'm going to refuel my car. So it's just a plan. All right, so let's talk a little more about the future, but yes?
Yes, I said it, like strong wishes you need to achieve it in the future or
ambition.
Yes.
Correct. Ambition is something you want to achieve in the future. It's a goal that you're working on now, but you'll get the result in the future. يعني شيء تطمح لتحقيقه. Ambition.
To achieve it in the future. Yeah.
Yeah, you want to achieve it in the future. So we need to use the future to talk about ambitions because you won't see the results now in the present. You will see them later. This is the idea. Okay, let's start with number one. Here we have collocations. So here in this little exercise, what we want to do is choose the right verb for the right word or the right phrase. So number one, of course, we say take photos. Doesn't make sense to say make. We don't use make.
Yes.
We say take.
Leave photos.
What about number two? What do we use for number two?
Leave.
Live abroad.
Is it leave or is it live?
Live abroad.
Is it the first or is it the second?
The first.
Yeah.
The first.
Okay. I'm just checking if you're awake or asleep. Okay, so the first is correct. Okay, the third one. What do we say? Do we say
Move.
Make a house.
Move house is correct. So if you want to move to a new house, to a new home or a new house, we say move house. All right. What about number four? What do we say?
Write a blog.
Correct. Yeah, because blogs are on the internet and they're written. So write a blog. What about number five?
Have a fantastic time.
That's correct. So we have a good time. We have a fantastic time. Number six?
Spend time.
Spend time.
Yeah. So we spend time. We spend time doing something. So we spend time doing nothing, like in Libya. You can spend money. So spend is used for time and money. Spend time, spend money. Okay, number seven.
Learn.
That's right. Yeah, because you have how and you can't say want how. It doesn't make sense. Learn how is correct. Learn how to do anything. Okay, number eight. Do
a course.
Do a course. You can also say take a course. It's also
Take,
correct.
yes.
Take a course, do a course. There's another one. It's not very common. Enroll. You can say enroll, but I think it's a little too formal. Maybe it's better for schools, enroll. Anyways, but do and take are better, yes. All right, so these are different collocations. So whenever you see the word collocation here at the top, always remember it's like matching. You're matching a verb with a phrase, or you're matching a verb with a noun. This is the idea of a collocation. And certain verbs, you know, just like you answered here, they feel natural. They go with this word. Some verbs don't. And this is the story. This is what collocations are all about. All right, let's take a look at our next exercise here in part B. Photos taken. Okay, it's just a little test. I think we can skip this. Now, let's go to the reading part. We have a little bit of reading and listening. But first of all, let's start with this general speaking question. So here in Libya, let's talk a little bit about Libya. At what age do people usually retire in Libya? What's the retirement age here?
60.
50 and female and
70.
No, 60.
65.
60 years.
60? Is it 60? For men and women?
65.
No,
65 for
men,
men.
men 65.
50 for female.
Women,
For
60.
women.
So for men, it's 65, but for women?
50.
Maybe 50.
Maybe 50?
I think it's 70.
70?
No, 60.
No,
60.
No, what's 70? No, so
I think 70, most of us are dead at 70. Most Libyans are dead.
yes.
We don't live very long.
because
65
my
and
father,
50.
because my father maybe the next 2 years will be retired in the job. But it depends. So if you like a tax, like as a driver, like if you work as a driver, maybe the 60. But if you like impolite, like anything else, maybe in the 65.
But I think there's a law from the government regarding the official retirement age. After that, if you want to stay, it's optional, but you can retire. But before it, you cannot retire. This is the question. I think what they want. They want the official age, and I think the official age is 65. I think, like most of you answered.
65, yes.
I think that's for males and maybe 60 for females. I think.
Yes.
Okay, but let's talk a little bit about the advantages and the disadvantages of being retired. So let's imagine we are all now 65, okay? We are still young and beautiful, but we're 65, okay? So what are the advantages of being retired? Let's say we are all retired. What do you think the advantages are of being retired, not having a job?
Spend more time with family.
More free time.
Have more free time to do
more time
something.
with the family.
Yes.
That's also true. Is it a good thing to have more time with the family? Is this an advantage or is it a disadvantage maybe?
Disadvantage.
Maybe.
Advantage.
More nagging.
More nagging, yeah.
Yeah, it can be a disadvantage, I think, maybe.
Because there is nothing to do.
Yeah, you can just start fighting with the family. Clean your room.
Enjoy
I want
enjoy
coffee.
time with the...
Where are you?
When are you coming back?
Go back home.
Come
now.
back. It's dangerous outside. Okay. So, but there is free time. So if we think of free time in general, free time can be, of course, a good thing, an advantage. But if there's nothing to do in this free time, and if there's a lot of it, maybe it can also be a disadvantage, right? Because I'm sure most of you have retired family members, like old uncles or maybe your grandfather or something. Most of the time they're angry and they're irritable. They're not in a good mood because they have too much free time. They have nothing to do.
Yes,
so
true.
yeah, there's a lot of stress maybe when you have too much free time. So okay, any big disadvantages of being retired?
Maybe more rest.
Boring.
and more keep you
When
healthy.
decreased
as you
activity,
may-
maybe
maybe
Decreased
maybe when you-
activity is
maybe when you go like
decreased activity, they feel like sick.
true.
All time complaining.
They've got nothing to do, and
Yes.
because they don't move a lot, so maybe their bodies are,
Yeah.
they're weak and lazy. So maybe lack
I
of
think
movement.
the disadvantage is related to the person itself.
Very good point. So
More related to the
Yes.
person.
so it's an individual
Being,
difference.
depressed maybe, or
Depression,
Depression,
Yes.
very common in old people, who are retired. Many of them are depressed. This is also, I think, a big disadvantage of being retired.
And they also spend more time on TV and listening to news, especially bad news.
Yeah, and that's not. It's most of it is negative, depressing news. There's a bomb. There's a bad politician. There's a war. There's a I don't know. None of it is good to listen to, and maybe old people listen to a lot of it. So maybe that's why many of them are depressed.
Yeah, but we would go like to the job. We have like more stress, more something to do, more. So when you get older, maybe you need to pay attention about your health. If you have drug or something like it. Maybe when you get older, maybe the systemic health like decrease, and maybe we need some rest. Maybe we need to care about our medical drug. I mean, so it's maybe the best advantage. Maybe you need like to be relaxed and like to maybe when we need to get older, we need like reduce stress. I mean,
but in real life examples, is this true? I mean, the old people in your family, are they relaxed and peaceful and enjoying retirement? Do you know anybody who's retired in your family?
No.
Of course, no. When you go to, of course, here a lot of the people they didn't like to go to a job. I like to stay at home and maybe like sleeping or something, or watching TV or anything. But when you go to job, maybe you need to wear your clothes. Maybe you need to taxi drive. So all of this, it's need to take some stress for you. It's not good for you. I mean, and you're healthy in general.
But when you retire, you don't have to do any of that.
Because when become older,
of course, maybe that you can do.
When become older, should be more attention about health.
Sure, you should pay.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, I think we should pay more attention to our health. I think even as younger people, I think we should always pay more attention to our health.
All people over 40.
But maybe, old people need to do this a little more. But the idea is with retirement, I want you to think of examples of anyone in your family. It doesn't have to be from your immediate family, even your uncles, grandfather, grandparents, or maybe
especially
your aunts,
here in Libya, there is no places for another activities or to
exactly.
change modes.
I completely agree, because in most countries, senior citizens or the older generation, they always have
places for walking, for play.
Community centers, right? They can play cards, they can socialize,
Yes, that's true. Yes.
Do activities.
At least in Egypt, here there is centers or places, for old people.
Mm-hmm. But okay, tell us news about anybody in your family. You don't have to name them, but how do they spend their time? Any retired people in your family?
No, but my father's still working.
Okay, so that's a good thing.
Yes, mother, she retired from 2 years ago. But she's still driving, going with the.
Oh, guys, let's talk more serious. Are you sure when we like maybe all of us maybe they have member go to a job? Or you think when we go to a job, maybe we like to doing hard work, or just maybe speaking, nothing to do? I mean.
Yeah, but it's still a routine. It's a routine when you go to work, even if it's not real work, like in Libya. Most people don't really work. I mean, it's not hard work, but still, you know, you wake up at 9 or I don't know, and you come back at 2 or 3. Or if you're a teacher for women, many Libyan mothers and wives are teachers at schools. They have lessons, they prepare, they go, they teach. So it's a routine, right? But when they retire, they don't do any of this anymore. So they have more free time. And so the question is,
become more nervous.
Yeah, that's what we're trying to discuss. What do
Shouting
they do?
with all members of family.
Yeah, many Libyan women.
Like my mother, making like that.
Yes, many Libyan mothers do this. I completely agree.
Yeah.
Especially because they used to maybe use all of this energy at work with their co-workers, or if they had students, or if she's a manager or a head of department.
She was a teacher, yeah.
Yeah, this is also very common. So when teachers stop teaching, they want to teach their students at
She
home.
feel like alone, or she feel like there is nothing to do, and
so
like it's
a
finished.
problem.
يعني like there's خلاص.
There's nothing else to do in life. Like I can't go to
her
work
life,
anymore.
Not for family, but for herself.
Yeah, her professional life, a part of her life is over.
Yes.
Okay, so this is an interesting example. Let's hear other examples of retired family members. Maybe Samiha or Rashid, or I don't know, anybody, Selma. Who knows a family member, anybody, grandfather, uncle, father, mother, who's retired, and what do they do to spend their time? This is the question.
I will talk about. Okay.
Okay, who wants to start first, Rashid or Samiha?
No problem.
Okay, go ahead, Rashid, and then Samiha can tell us. Okay, Rashid, who do you want to talk about?
نقدر ما نقول ايش؟
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to say who. You can just say, I have a family member who's retired, and then you can say he, she. You don't have to say who.
Okay.
And you can also say
when they lose the
continue.
When they lose the key, they will talk to you and come search for the key. Even if you're not حتى ولو انت مش انت اللي مريحة.
So you're trying to say this is how they spend their time looking for keys.
Yes.
Do you think it's a good hobby to look for keys? But are they the ones who lost it, or did someone else lose the key? This is my question.
No,
they lost it and they spent the day looking for it.
Yeah.
Do you think this is an exciting way to spend your time if you're retired, or do you think this is maybe a little depressing?
No, it's the best way to free time.
It's the best time to use free time, right? It's the best way. So maybe this is a good, I think Rashid just gave us excellent advice. If any of you has a retired family member, all you need to do to keep them entertained is take away their keys, put them somewhere, and let them look for their keys. This way they have an activity and they can spend their time looking for their keys. And of course they'll feel happy when they find their keys. So this is a good management for older family members. I think I might use this with my parents. Take away their keys and let them look for them. Okay, let's see. Samiha, tell us about any family member, anyone in your family who's retired, and what do they do with their free time?
My father retired since 2 years ago, and in the first few months he feels depressed and nothing to do, but after that he spent a lot of time in our farm, and my father have not. He is interesting to gardening, and he changed our farm more better than before.
Ah, that's a great way of using his free time, right?
Yes, yes. And these days he works in not works. He have meeting in a charity, and have meeting, I think, 3 times a week. He spend the time there.
Ah, okay. I think that's a very good way for
Yes,
someone who's
very,
retired.
very good. Yes,
I think it's also
he became more feeling very good after do this.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think gardening is a great way to spend time. Doing any kind of charity work, volunteer work, regular meetings with people or friends, or I think these are all good things, good ways to manage your time if you're retired. I think maybe more Libyan people should do these things. That's good. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about work, retirement, and we're going to hear from 3 different people. Now I'm going to show you the photos first. So here, this is photo A. You can see we have Derek. So this is Derek. In photo B, we have Heidi. You can see Heidi. And I think she's doing what Samiha's father is doing. It looks like she's gardening. So she's doing the same thing. And the third photo is here we have Meryl and Ryan. Meryl and Ryan. All right, so my first question is, what do these people do? Or maybe let's change the question. What do you think they're doing now? What does Derek do? What's his job? What do you think he does?
Manager, maybe.
Businessman, manager, maybe. What other jobs look like this?
Maybe doctor,
maybe.
teaching at university.
Doctor, I think.
Maybe doctor,
professor.
Maybe someone who works in a company, professor, maybe banker. Yeah, okay. These are good guesses. What about Heidi? What do you think she does? What's her job? Does she work, or do you think she's retired?
She's housewife.
Retired.
Maybe she's a housewife. Maybe she's retired. These are good options. Okay. And what about the couple here? We have Meryl and Ryan. What do you think they do? What are their jobs? Or do you think they're retired too?
Retired.
Do you think they look retired?
Yes.
They look happy.
Yeah, but it's strange. He's very happy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe they are this picture in vacation or something.
Yeah, good point. Maybe they're on vacation.
Yes, it's here like that.
Okay.
Or maybe they have a new house. I think it's big house. Maybe.
Yes, that's also possible. Maybe they moved somewhere else. Salma, what did you say?
Maybe they're on holiday.
Maybe they're on holiday. That's also possible. They're very happy. Or maybe one of their parents died and now they have money. They're going to inherit money. And I think they're happy because there's money, so they can do new things. So they're happy, maybe. Okay.
Maybe the man businessman.
Good point. Maybe he's a businessman.
Maybe for picture, just for picture.
Maybe they're just smiling
I think
for the picture.
they are rich people, I think.
But they look happy, right? I don't think it's just for the picture. Okay, let's find out about their lives. Let's find out about Meryl and Ryan, and also let's learn a little bit about Derek and Heidi. Let's see what they do. But before we do that, I want you to guess first. Here we have 3 parts. 1, 2, 3. I want you to read these, short paragraphs, these very short paragraphs. And then I want you to guess who said this. Is it Derek? Is it Heidi? Or is it Ryan and Meryl? So take a minute. Read 1, 2, 3 first, and then tell me what you think. Okay, let's see your answers. What do you think?
Number one is
Number
Number one couple.
Okay.
Meryl and Ryan.
Yes.
C.
Okay, I
Picture
think
C.
that's probably correct because it's plural. They're talking together. All right. What about number 2?
A.
Derek.
A.
Derek.
Maybe Derek?
Yeah.
Okay. And this means number 3 is Heidi.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's listen and check. Let's see if this is true or not.
Track 6. Ryan.
We're going to drive across the USA. We're planning to spend about 6 months traveling, and I'm sure we'll have a fantastic time.
Derek.
I'm hoping to retire before I'm 50, but I'm not going to stay in this country. I want to live abroad, somewhere that's hot all year.
Heidi.
I'm looking forward to spending more time in the garden. I'm thinking of doing a course in wildlife photography, and I'd like to go to Africa next year.
Okay, so our guesses are right, and these are some of their plans when they retire. Now, let's go a little bit and talk about grammar here in number 4. So we want to talk about 3 things here. So we have the first part is be going to. So we want to use be going to. And then we have plans, hopes, and ambitions. Okay, so let's start with the first question here. It says, look at these sentences and answer questions number 1 to 3. So the first sentence, it says, we're going to drive across the USA. So this is what Ryan said. And then he said, I'm sure we'll have a fantastic time. Now, the first question, it says, do both sentences talk about the future? Are these 2 sentences in the future or not both of them? What do you think?
Yes, both of them.
Yes.
Yes.
Both of them are in the future?
Yes.
All right, I think you're right. That's correct. So both of them are in the future, but which of them is a plan and which of them is a prediction in your opinion?
First is a plan, and second
that's a prediction.
prediction.
I think that's also correct, yeah. So the first one, it's a plan, because this is what they're gonna do. And this is a prediction. This is what he thinks will happen, yeah. He predicts or he expects that they'll have a good time. That's what he thinks. So it's a prediction. All right, now let's talk a little bit about be going to. So what's the verb form that comes after?
Infinitive.
Yeah.
Right.
If you take a look here, going to drive. So this is your infinitive. Okay. All right. Now, what about negatives? How do we make negatives questions and short answers with be going to? Remember that be going to is the very first future tense that we studied. Elementary students take, actually beginner students, starters, they study be going to. So it's simple, but it's very useful, I think. It's very nice to use it, especially if you want to talk about plans. So now this is a nice revision. How do we make negatives with be going to? For example, the first sentence, we're going to drive across the USA. How can we make this into negative?
We aren't.
That's
We
it.
aren't.
Yeah, we aren't.
No.
So you can say we aren't, you can say we're not. You can do it both ways. We're not, we aren't. Very good. Let's say we want to make this into a question. How can we make
Are you going?
That's it. Just change, put the
Are
verb
you
to
going?
be. Are you going? Are we going? Are they going? That's correct.
Also
And
to be.
yeah, you have to use to. Are you going to drive? Are you going to stay?
Yeah.
And the verb to be is in the beginning. You have to use verb to be. Are is, if you want to talk about a person, a singular subject, of course, she or he, you have to use is, right? Is she going?
Yes.
Is he going? And that's it. And let's say someone asks you, are you going to the mall next week? How do you answer a question
Yes,
like
I
this?
am.
Yes, I am. And
Yes,
if you're,
I am.
or if you're not, what do you say?
No, I am not.
No, I am not.
That's it. You answer it like a verb to be question, right? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. All right, so this is a mini revision for be going to. Now, let's move to number 5. This time, we want to talk about a few maybe new things. So it says here, find the phrases in number 1 to 3. So they want us to look again at these 3 paragraphs that Ryan, Merrill, Derek, and Heidi talked about. So the question is about these 3 sentences, but let me show you what we want to do. So it says, which verb form comes after each phrase? The infinitive with to or verb plus ing. So you have 2 options to choose from. You can choose infinitive with to for your answer, or you can choose verb plus ing. So we actually have 6 different phrases. Okay, so we have we're planning, I'm hoping, I want, and then you have I'm looking forward to, I'm thinking of, I'd like. So we moved from be going to for the future into 6 different ways of talking about the future. So the question is, first of all, let's decide what verb form comes after these phrases, okay? The first one is already answered. We're planning. You have to use infinitive with to. First of all, let's look for we're planning in the story, in the sentence. What's the verb after we're planning? What did Ryan use? What did he say?
Spend.
To spend, exactly.
To spend.
Yeah,
Infinitive.
so you can see we have to plus infinitive. So this means if you use this phrase, we're planning, you have to use to plus infinitive. We're planning to go, we're planning to stay, we're planning to study, we're planning to eat. All right. Now, next one, I'm hoping.
Infinitive.
Again, that's correct. Yeah.
Infinitive with to.
Because in the sentence, Derek said, I'm hoping to retire. So this means infinitive with to. Infinitive with to. All right, what about the next one? I want.
Infinitive to.
Again, the same thing, right? Infinitive with to. And you can see it here. I want to
go
to live abroad. Do we have I want to go? I think we... No, we don't.
Live abroad. No, I have.
Yeah, I want to live. So this means the same thing. Infinitive with to. What about the next phrase? I'm looking... Excuse me. I'm looking forward...
ing.
Plus ing.
Verb plus ing.
That's it. Yeah, because if you see it in the example, when Heidi was talking, she said, I'm looking forward to spending. So she used a verb plus ing. All right. Now this phrase is very easy to confuse, by the way. There's a common mistake that many students make, many speakers make when they use this. So they use I'm looking forward to, and sometimes they use infinitive. Do you get the idea?
Yes.
But that's not correct. You cannot use infinitive here. You have to use ing. So if you want to say I'm looking forward, you can say I'm looking forward to staying with you. I'm looking forward to working with you. I'm looking forward to traveling to London. I'm looking forward to learning about this course. I'm looking forward to meet you. I'm looking forward to
Meet or meeting?
meeting. I'm looking forward to meeting you. Did I say meet?
Meeting.
Meeting.
Yeah, okay.
لو أنا قلت meet معناها غلطت هي meeting. You have to use verb plus ing. ما يمشيش infinitive. رغم أنه سهل التخبيط فيها يعني تلقى روحك مرات تستعمل في infinitive ما غير قصد. لكن هي fixed. It's a fixed phrase. ما تمشيش إلا بالverb plus ing. It's kind of a rule.
Because sometimes when you say I'm looking for يعني like ing into
بالضبط غريبة أصلا.
phrases فتحسها تكي.
Exactly. This is the reason why it's very easy to make a mistake here. Because everybody is used to, after to, we use an infinitive. يعني تجيك منطقيا I'm looking forward to spend.
I'm looking forward to spend.
Yeah.
Not to spending.
بالضبط. لكن هي فيها trick.
That's correct.
Yeah, it's how it's done. I don't know why, but I've tried reading about this. لأنها غريبة شوية. لكن لقيت إنه ينزل fixed phrase. يستعملوا فيها بالشكل هذا. That's it. All right, the next one I'm thinking of. What did we use after I'm thinking of?
Verb plus
Verb
ing.
and ing.
Yeah, same thing. We used verb plus ing. I'm thinking of doing. So let's underline it. Thinking of doing. So it's verb plus ing. And the last one is I'd like. What do we use?
Infinitive with to.
That's it.
To go.
Yeah,
infinitive.
To go. Exactly, yeah. Infinitive with to go. All right, so you can see that these are very nice and useful ways of talking about the future, especially if you're talking about your hopes, dreams, ambitions. So you can use them with these expressions. In the next part here, it says, which of these phrases means I'm excited about this and I'm going to enjoy it when it happens? All right. So can you see these 6 phrases that we talked about? For example, we're planning to spend, I'm hoping to retire.
Want.
Yeah, all of these.
I am hoping.
Yeah, but which one of these, which one do you think has the meaning? Let me underline it for you. I'm excited about this and I'm going to enjoy.
Repeat, doctor.
Yeah, let me repeat the question. So my question for you now is, from the box, let me put it in a box, the blue box. Can you see the ones we finished in the blue box here?
Yes.
Okay. So from all of these, which of these 6 phrases, these 6 future phrases, which of them has the meaning here that I just underlined in question 1 in part B? So my question is this: which of these 6 phrases has this meaning?
I am hoping.
Sorry. This one. أما واحدة منهم تعطي المعنى هذا. I'm excited about this and I'm going to enjoy it when it happens.
I'm
looking forward to spending more time in garden.
What do you think?
I'm excited.
I'd like.
احنا نبغى واحدة منهم تعطي نفس معنى I'm excited about this and I'm going to enjoy it when it happens.
I'm looking
forward.
I'm looking for spending more time in the garden.
I'm hoping.
When I'm hoping to retire before I'm 50.
No, I'm looking forward to spending more time in the garden.
Actually, this one is the correct one. Yes.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to spending. Yeah, so this person...
Because she is excited.
Exactly.
With this.
So the person is excited and plus she already has an expectation. It's like 2 in 1. She's happy about this and she already has an expectation that she will enjoy it. And by the way, this phrase, I'm looking forward to, يستعملوا فيها هلبة عادة مثلا اللقاءات. I'm looking forward to meeting you. مثلا إن شخص مثلا وظفوه في شركة في الخارج مثلا مازال ما تلاقاش مع التيم, for example. So they can say, I'm looking forward to meeting everyone. I'm looking forward to hearing from you. مرات يستعمل فيها في الإيميلز. لو شخص بعت إيميل ويستنى في الرد أو متحمس للرد, you can say, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. So it's used, يعني يستعملوا فيها. And it has the meaning of I'm going to enjoy it when it happens. All right, now, second question. Which do you think is more certain? I'm planning or I'm thinking of?
I am planning.
More certain?
Yeah, more certain. What does certain mean? What does it mean, certain?
Can I say in Arabic?
You can say in English.
Okay.
What do you think? Can you think of another word which has the same meaning as certain?
I mean, sure.
Maybe confirmed thing.
Sure is a good meaning, right? Sure is a good, I mean, it's a good synonym. It's a good translation. Sure. If you're sure about something, it means you're certain. It means you're more confident that it will happen. Okay. So Selma says, I'm planning is more certain than I'm thinking of. Do you agree? Do you think that's right?
No, I think I'm hoping.
I'm planning.
No, here, number 2. Question number 2.
Yes.
Number 2, because Nairuz, you only have two parts to compare between. Yeah, Emma, I'm planning. Yeah, Emma, I'm thinking of.
I'm planning.
I'm
planning.
That's correct. I'm planning is actually more definite. It's more certain. I'm planning. I'm thinking of, you know, you're still thinking about it.
Thinking.
Yeah, you're not
still thinking.
You're still thinking.
For sure.
Yeah, you're not sure. Exactly right. That's it. Okay, so I'm planning is the right answer. Okay, what about the next part, which is less certain? If you say, I'm going to travel or I'm hoping to travel.
I'm hoping.
I'm hoping.
That's right. Yeah. I'm hoping is less certain. It means you want this, but you're not sure it will happen, right?
I wish.
Yeah, you're kind of wishing. Every Libyan is hoping to leave Libya, but it might not happen.
Less certain.
Yeah, it's because someone has to stay in the country. Not everyone can leave it. Okay, so it's less certain. All right, so before we do any exercises, let me just show you the summary, because exercise 5 here, they introduced maybe a few new things. So let's take a look at the summary. Let's see if there's something useful for us there. Any tips we can check before we finish the lesson. Let's take a look. All right, here it is. All right, so 5.3. So it says we can use these phrases. هنشوف اللي قبلها. Okay, هذه مكررة. I'll be going to blah blah blah. Nothing new here, I think, on the left side. Just the grammar, how to make it. I think the only thing اللي بتهمنا تو هي قصة be going to. It's for future plans, okay? And will plus infinitive, future predictions. I think maybe this is important to remember. باقي أعتقد واضح. The grammatical part, how to make, positive, negative, questions. Nothing new. Let's see here. Yes, no, questions, short answers. We don't use short answers. Yes, it is. Okay, there's this tip. It's not new, but I think it's important. yeah, maybe you already know it, but let's talk about it. So it says here, remember that the rule with be going to, we use be plus going to plus infinitive, right? So this means, let's say you want to use the verb go. معناها حتقولوا I'm going to go, right? So you can say I'm going to go to work. I'm going to go to my uncle's house. I'm going to go swimming, right? This is a little strange. Going to go. So there's an exception. في زي نوع من exception. If you're using the verb go, you can just say I'm going to والنحو الgo. Do you get the idea? So you can say I'm going to work. I'm going to Italy. I'm going to Benghazi, whatever. Do you get the idea? But this is an exception. في حالة الفعل go فقط الكلام هذا. في الأفعال الثانية ما يمشيش الحال. You have to use the infinitive. So you have to say I'm going to eat. Okay? I'm going to sleep. I'm going to study. لكن في حالة الفعل go, you don't have to say I'm going to go. It's correct, but you don't have to say it. Do you get the idea? You can just put the place على طول. I'm going to Turkey. I'm going to work. I'm going to وهكذا. All right, now let's take a quick look at today's part. اللي هو في الجزء الأسفل هذا plans, hopes, and ambitions. All right, so to be planning, so you can say I'm planning, we're planning, you're planning, plus infinitive.
Doctor.
Yes?
Using of going to for more certain or less certain or what?
More certain.
Forgot.
Going to, more certain. It's a plan. So if you say I'm going to travel to Turkey, معناها كل شيء واتي. حاجز الفندق, you have the booking, you've bought the ticket, كل شيء جاهز. You took a holiday from work. You're sure, you're very definite or certain that you will travel. You get the idea? يعني certain.
But it's look like looking for or I'm confused.
Okay, looking forward to حتى هي certain لكن فيها نوع من التوقع. في توقع إيجابي. فلما تقولي I'm looking forward to traveling next week مثلا معناها you're certain it will happen but you're also happy about it. متوقع انك انت حتنسجمي بالرحله مثلا. to get the idea. في توقع حيحصل. عندك توقع للحدث هذا, توقع ايجابي. لكن I'm going to ما فيش اي توقع, يعني neutral. الموضوع له ايجابي له سلبي. خطه وخلاص. It's just a plan. شيء خططتي له وحيحصل يعني.
Yes.
So this group اللي هو المجموعة الجديدة هذه اللي يهمنا فيها ان هي تحكي على نقدر نعبروا بها على certainty, على الاشياء اللي هي يعني في درجات متفاوتة من certainty. So some of them are more certain. So for example, I'm going to is more certain than I'm hoping, for example. Also, I'm planning is less certain than more certain than, for example, I'm thinking of. But you can use all of them to talk about the future. They're all useful. So for example here when you say هذا إجابة على سؤالك يا صفية, this one هي النقطة الأولى. I'm looking forward to, it means I'm excited about this and I'm going to enjoy it when it happens. يعني في توقع للenjoyment, في pleasure, يعني you like it.
I know I'm looking for, but I'm going to, I'm going to.
لا I'm going to plan وخلاص, ما فيهاش أي توقعات معينة يعني. شيء أنت مخططي له حتديري. مثلا لو أنت مخططة نقوله مثلا حتجهزي العشاء. I'm going to make dinner. I'm going to prepare dinner. يعني it's له good له bad, but مخطط الموضوع, حاططيه في بالك يعني. You're going to do it.
Maybe like I'm planning.
Yes, you can say I'm planning. It's the same. I'm planning to make dinner. يمشي الحال حتى هو I'm planning. Yeah. Or for example, I'm planning to move house. بس مازال going to أقوى في certainty. أقوى واحدة فيهم للعلم من ناحية ثقتك أن حتديريه الشيء هذا. أقوى واحدة فيهم I'm going to. Yes. أقوى مازال حتى من I'm planning. I'm going to معناه شيء حيحصل. You will do it. مجهزتي له في تجهيز مسبق. هي هذه القصة. وفي بعدين قدام ممكن حنتكلموا حتى على present continuous للfuture اللي هي مثلا I'm meeting him tomorrow للأشياء المجدولة اللي يبدأ في arrangement يعني في حتى هو نوع من البلان قد يقولوا له مرات arrangement حتى هو مخطط مثلا I'm meeting أحمد tomorrow at 5 o'clock ممكن اجتماع ولا we're having a meeting at 10 o'clock لو شركتكم عندها جدول اليوم مثلا الساعة 9 أنا في meeting we're meeting I'm having a meeting at 9 o'clock فتقدري تستعملي حتى present continuous للfuture فهذو أقوى اثنين من ناحية certainty present continuous for future will be going to التانيات كلهم في درجات أقل يعني
I'm going I'm planning
لا ندوي لك اللي هي مو I'm planning to في واحدة تانية حكيتك عليها اللي هي هذه present continuous مثلا you can say I'm meeting بالشكل هذا I'm meeting my boss later or in the afternoon. لاحظتوا الجملة هذه يا صفية I'm meeting my boss in the afternoon ما فيهاش going to وما فيهاش planning صح ولا؟ هذه present continuous فقط I'm meeting احنا عادة متعودين على present continuous الأشياء اللي تحصل في ال present صح؟ مثلا I'm talking to you you're listening to me هذا توه في present لكن لما نضيفوا time phrase مثلا in the afternoon واحنا مثلا حاليا في الفترة الصباحية معناها الafternoon اللي هو في الفيوتشر في المستقبل بالضبط هذه حتى هي certain موضوع مخطط وفي schedule نازل الموضوع حيصير أكيد دي قد idea واللي قريبة جدا منها نفس الشيء اللي هي حتى I'm going to meet my boss بالضبط نفس الشيء
I'm going to meet
yes
not meeting I'm going to meet
correct I'm going to meet that's correct I'm planning to meet مازال مش بنفس السيرتينتي هذه اللي بنوصلها يعني أقل شوية منهم مازال I'm planning لكن في نفس الوقت I'm planning مازال أكثر من مثلا I'm thinking certain أكثر ففي درجات يعني على حسب مدى تأكدك من الشيء هذا اللي بيصير لكن for example I'm hoping or زي اللي اخترناها I'd like to I want هذه تعكس ما تعكسش certainty تعكس رغبة أكثر تعكس يعني hope or ambition أكثر yeah so if you say I want to live abroad of course هذه في الفيوتشر يعني الشخص اللي يقول لك I want to live abroad زي كنا في ليبيا مثلا معناها قاعدين في ليبيا so it's in the future هو صح في الفيوتشر لكن ما فيش هذاك السيرتينتي يعني كلامك وخلاص رغبة وخلاص ما فيهاش أي نوع من السيرتينتي يعني ما فيش أي planning ما فيش خطوات واضحة للوصول للهدف هذا or for example I'm hoping to live in the UK نفس الشيء it's a hope لكن ما فيش حاجة واضحة يعني I'd like to live in the UK نفس الشيء حتى هي رغبة I'd like to visit France لكن ما فيش plan رغبة خلاص so this is the idea and there's another nice tip here it says if you want to use I'm looking forward احنا اتفقنا أنها كانت verb plus ing فقط right but you can also use بالإضافة ل verb plus ing you can use a noun so you can say I'm looking forward to my holiday تقدر تقولي I'm looking forward to taking my holiday ماشي الحال but you can say I'm looking forward to my holiday you can use a noun so this means you can use a noun you can use a pronoun I'm looking forward to it or you can use verb plus ing I'm looking forward to going on holiday I'm looking forward to traveling to Italy do you get the idea so looking forward عندكم فيها شوية options الحاجة الوحيدة الممنوعة اللي هي الانفينيتيف you can't use an infinitive You can't say, I'm looking forward to travel. No, you have to say traveling. Or if you want to use a noun, I'm looking forward to meeting, having. This is the idea. All right. So in our next lesson, we'll have more exercises about this. It will become a little clearer, I think. Let me show you some of the exercises we'll do in our next lesson. So here they are. So if you do a few exercises, and also if you do the exercises you have in your workbook, I think it will become kind of clear. Where is it? Yeah, here it is. So this is where we'll start in our next lesson. Can you see this? Number 6. So here in number 6, we'll get a chance to use all of these different phrases and future expressions. So we'll use them here. And after that, we can do the listening to check. So it'll be, I think, clearer. All right, so that's all for today. I'll see you again on Thursday. Have a good evening and night.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Thank you, Doctor.
You're welcome. You're welcome.